So we're going to talk about the Rocket League Esports World Cup and just give an overview and a breakdown of how we think group play will play out, and just talk about the event as a whole. If you don't, my name is Swar, and EWC is happening this Thursday, is the kickoff for it, and I've followed professional Rocket League since 2016. I got to go to Season 7 Worlds, got to watch G2 lose in the grand finals, which broke my heart. But I will say that Season 7 World Championship Series, we set the world record. We crushed the world record for the longest Mexican wave, so that was fantastic. But now, after following G2, getting to see the last year of Rizzo playing, the last year of Fireburner playing, and just getting to witness that event live in New Jersey was a lot of fun, and I'm excited to just continue talking about the esport. I've loved the game since 2016, and now I kind of follow my middle of the pack teams. From NA, I follow Dignitas, and then from EU, I follow Oxygen, and we'll see what happens to Oxygen. They will not be a team or they won't be under that banner for much longer, so we'll see what happens to them, and we'll go with it. But my friend here is going to introduce himself.
I am Staviroo, or Stavi, or Stav, whatever you want to call me. I've been following Rocket League since 2017. Personally, I'm a Space Station fan. I also like Shopify from NA, and now that Moist has moved over, honestly kind of hoping they move back to EU and pick up the Oxygen boys, because Oxygen would also be my favorite EU team. Love Papa Charlie. Hope he gets Joyo back.
So the breakdown for the format of this tournament is we got 16 teams involved. We'll go over who those people are, or who those teams are, in a second. But the 16 teams are broken up into 4 groups of 4, and they're going to play in bracket style, like best of 5 series, to determine who the top 2 teams in each group are. And from there, we'll get a top 8, and the top 8 will play on Saturday and Sunday to figure out who comes out on top, who's the best team, who is our first Esports World Cup champion for Rocket League. And also, they're playing for a lot of bones here, Steve.
True. We got 200 bones, 200,000 bones, depending on how you want to look at a bone, up for grabs. $200,000 for the number 1 team, and $50,000 goes to the MVP.
Oh, I didn't even know they got the MVP buff.
Yep, but MVP gets a nice little bonus.
So we got a prize pool of 500,000. You get $5,000 just for flying. You go to Riyadh, you walk foot in the stadium, $5,000 richer. So everybody takes home a little bit of something. And from there, I think there was a tweet earlier today. We were going to try to speculate, who we thought would be on the desk, who would be the commentating team. And then the Esports World Cup Twitter decided to announce that today. And what that looks like is we got this little picture right here. Oh, can't. All right. Well, Steve's blocking Veracity.
Might go.
Okay. But Veracity would be our stage host, and then we got LeafX will be the desk, and Hercules is a content host, and then interviewer. I think great pick for interviewer is CJ.
Absolutely. Love to see him on the cast and doing anything around Rocket League. It's so good to see CJ in the scene.
If it wasn't, because the Esports World Cup's they've got some sportsmanship rules in place. Like the Call of Duty Esports World Cup just finished, and normally if you follow COD at all, they are yelling at one another. And the last major, it was the last major before the COD champs. We had one player told another player to keep himself safe. So nothing like that will fly at the Esports World Cup. Nothing like that will be even remotely possible without getting warned and then eventually fined and just hurting your team. So who do we got? Go through the casters.
We got Cole, Stumpy, and Oh, yep, just those two for the EU casters, and then from NA we've got Jorby and Corelli. And then we've got three analysts on the desk, going to be Johnny Boy, James Bot, and Achieves.
Now, one, and we talked about this a little bit before we started. You told me that I said that I like the name from this list that was missing for me was Wavepunk, and then we we kind of talked about that before starting. You said that he turned down the opportunity, and
Yeah.
I think Wavepunk would have brought a lot of energy if I mean just being around Rocket League and watching all of RLCS and all that. The phrase "get up and get loud," it's game day, like that.
Yeah,
Having Wavepunk there was always kind of a big deal for me, and I always enjoyed having him. And so I think his presence is definitely going to be missed, but I do think that they have a solid team put together for this, and I'm just Achieves. He
agreed.
Achieves has been my favorite analyst for
Yeah,
like
I mean,
forever.
Achieves does such a good job breaking down the game. It's just really nice. Like he has an incredible brain for it, so I love to see him on the team. I think somebody I'm gonna really miss is Shogun. You talk about voice of the game, and that
True.
is immediately who comes to mind for me is Shogun. So it's a little disappointing that he won't be there, but that's okay. I like who we've got. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I still remember. And I think, I mean, one of the things you hit right on the head is the just the fact that Achieves has such a brain for this game. I remember when I went to season 7 Worlds, it was during either the grand final or one of the semis. I looked over, we sat near the back of one of our sections, and I looked over, and Achieves was just kind of standing right there, and he had a notepad out, and dude was just taking notes during the match and just
Heck
trying,
yeah.
and it was just it was cool to see. It was cool to see that, like, how much he cares, how much he puts into it. And so just I'm excited for Achieves, and for casters, Jorby. He's he's been around a long time, big fan of Jorby, and
Absolutely.
I don't know, they've got a great Cole and Stumpy, their addition once they finally like broke into the commentating scene. I've enjoyed them. They've been friends. They've made content together for so long that they just have like that natural chemistry and just click.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
they,
It's nice to see them come from the production side and get a chance to have their voices heard a little bit more. They do a good job. And Jorby, like you said, Jorby's energy, I mean, he really is unmatched with the type of energy he brings, especially when Fury is playing. I mean, there's just nothing more exciting than Jorby on that.
I one thing I will say, having a caster team this small now, like I know that they're professionals. I know this is what they do, but I hope that they don't get like burnt out or tired, because day one, and we're gonna get into it. Day one, there's uh what, 8 matches that they have to cast, which I know that they'll rotate in and out. They got different ways of going about it, but 8 games, even if you split it 50-50, like 4 games, 4 matches, is that's a lot.
Yeah,
And so
especially if we get some long matches, if we get
mhm,
some
some game
I think they're
fives.
best of fives, yeah. Lots of game fives. That could be an exhausting start to the weekend for sure. But
So but I think I know that they can do it. They've done long streams in the past, but I'm hoping that they don't get tired in the midst of all this, especially with, I'm sure they're over there already, but time change, stuff like that, that's gonna have to mess with you too, trying to just
yeah,
adjust to a new a whole new setup. But we enough of that. We've talked about the casters, the desk, who's gonna be there, but in game, who's gonna be there. And Steve, we'll let you walk us through some of the teams that'll be there.
all right. So we've got 16 teams. I think I mean the team I'm most excited for is Space Station, but we've got Space Station, Gen G, and G2 representing NA. We have Vitality, BDS, and Gentlemates representing EU. Team Power and Chiefs are going to be our OCE teams. For Sam, we've got Furia and Team Secret. For Mina, it's the Falcons and Twisted Minds, with the addition of Nalpo taking Ahmad's spot from the season. That'll be pretty interesting to see. And then Gaming Gladiators and EXO Esports, previously known as Across the Pond, just got picked up by an org today for the APAC region. And then for SSA, we have Limitless and the Kosi Ballers.
Is that how you pronounce that? I have not figured that
I
out.
don't know. We're
Okay.
just rolling with it.
We're going with it. All right.
I think I'm gonna guess that the N is kind of silent.
Okay.
Say it with confidence, and they'll believe it. You know?
Yep, we love that. So we've got a breakdown of the actual, and I turn into a ghost when we look at this, but we actually have we've got to look at how the bracket shapes up in terms of what seeding goes where, and what you can't see, what's hidden under Steve right now would be the NA number 1 versus the Sub-Saharan Africa number 1, and on the other side of that bracket we got the EU number 2 and the OCE number 1. And
that hidden team is G2 and Limitless, in case anybody doesn't know the seeding.
Yeah, and so there's just kind of like a breakdown of what the actual tournament will look like. And like I said, each stage is going to, or each group play is going to be in a little bracket format. And so we've got so like down here, we had EU number 1, OCE number 2 down in Group D, and then NA3 versus Asia Pacific number 1. And then they'll play here, and a loser will drop down, and the last 2 teams standing, it's win 2 and you're in, lose 2, you go home. And so we'll see how that plays out. And actually, here's the teams with their names filled in, and we can actually go in and start predicting a little bit. And before we actually start predicting, is there a group that like jumps out to you like this is going to be the most fun group to watch? Like which group's going to be the most explosive, and which group's going to be kind of a snooze?
I think personally, I'm most excited for Group C.
Okay.
I think Furia, Vitality, and Twisted Minds with that Naopo edition, I think is going to be really exciting to watch. And honestly, I'm expecting a big upset in that, with Twisted Minds being a home team advantage kind of team here. I'm expecting them to qualify through. So I think we're going to see some upsets in that one.
Okay.
That if I had to predict a snooze, it would be Group D for me. I think Gentlemates and Space Station will just clear the Chiefs and Gladiators. I don't think that'll be too much competition in that group.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Group D is going to be my snooze. That's if there were going to be a time to take a nap, it would be Group D in my opinion. That's what it looks like, at least. And for me, I think the fun group to watch is it's difficult because the other 3 groups I feel like have the big rivalries. Furia versus Vitality from the last event, they battled it out like crazy. Vitality beat them 3-1 in a Swiss, and then Furia comes back and beats them to go on to be top 4.
Yeah.
G2 and BDS, that's a rivalry that's been around since, I want to say, the COVID year. I want to say RLCSX is when that rivalry started, and I just feel like it's kind of been there since then. I think Falcons versus Gen G is going to be a lot of fun over in Group B, so I just think it's going to be pretty difficult to pick a most fun to watch, but I don't know. You kind of mentioned it with... Go ahead.
I think Secret could pull an upset too, you know. We'll see how Group B turns out also. That could be a little exciting. And I mean, Power were no slouches at the major. I mean, Banana had played just absolutely out of his mind.
Yeah.
So I agree. All 3 of those groups are pretty exciting.
I will say, I think most exciting, you kind of mentioned it earlier when we were talking about the casters, like Jorby's energy that he brings to the Furia series. I think if you get Furia Vitality in a qualification setting, let Jorby on the mic for that game. Now, given both of those teams have to win first to get to that, but
Jorby and Stumpy, that would be a fun co-cast on that one.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to agree with you. Say Group C will be the most explosive, most fireworks, most chance at an upset, but the snooze is definitely, to me, Group D. I think Gentlemates, I'm probably going to say Gentlemates qualifies out of the upper, and then Space Station runs the lower, but Well,
Nah.
okay. We'll start predicting them, and we'll just start with Group D. So, do we both agree Gentlemates is winning
Yeah,
that series?
Gentlemates over Chiefs.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Gentlemates winning that
I
series
just
for sure, which would drop Chiefs down here, and then Space Station versus
yeah,
Gladiators. Yeah, okay.
definitely Space Station.
So we do that. I can't spell, by the way. That's missing an E. We'll fix that. Oh, lowercase. All right, so and then Gladiators would drop down. Oh, golly, I'm a professional. So there's that, and we'll do this first. Who do you think comes out, Gladiators versus the Chiefs?
Honestly, I think the Chiefs are gonna beat the Gladiators on this one. The interesting thing to watch with the Chiefs is that Joriez is replacing um their third. I can't remember. I think it was Gus. I don't remember if that was split one or split two. He played for Chiefs, but either way, it's Hunter Kaka and Joriez for the Chiefs, and I think Joriez will be able to do a good job in that matchup. I Gladiators aren't a bad team. It's Vert, Maxiu, and Tho. But I'm going Chiefs personally. I think Joriez, we know he's good in the qualifying matches, chokes in the playoffs. So I think uh I think we'll see at least one good match at it.
Okay, I will agree with you. I think Chiefs coming in. I want one OCE team to do well. It was extremely exciting watching the last major, and we for the first time ever we had 4 different regions represented in the top 4, and
Incredible.
I think that it is possible. Like it shows that the minor regions are starting to catch up, and so I'm excited to see what the Chiefs can do, and I think the Chiefs can pull this off, and so we'll go ahead and move them on, and then now for qualification, you said you think Space Station qualify out of the upper.
I mean, realistically, here my issue we've seen like in the Shift Summer League, we've seen Space Station. We haven't seen Gentlemates. I know they're all sitting high up in the twos leaderboard. I think logically, Gentlemates will probably beat them, unfortunately. But yeah, my bias says otherwise.
Your heart says one, your
Yeah,
brain says the
brain
other.
says the other.
I mean,
Yep.
I since we're not going over the playoff bracket, since that format hasn't exactly been released yet, I don't.
Gentlemates are a LAN team, though, also. That's the thing. Like, Space Station really did well last LAN. They did a great job, Major 2. I think they have a high potential, but just from what we've seen on the season, like, Gentlemates is a really incredible LAN team. They've been a top 3 team in both majors, in my opinion.
I
And they
think,
won the first one, so.
which I already gave my vote. I think Gentlemates makes it out of the upper, and then Space
Yeah.
Station drops down, plays the Chiefs, and beats them.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I could agree with that.
So we'll go Gentlemates there. Space Station drops down, and then Space Station moves on. So there's our 2 qualifying teams out of Group D. Group C, I think you had mentioned an upset potential out of Twisted Minds, but I
Don't see it.
no, I think Vitality's going to take that.
Yeah, maybe. See,
Give me Vitality Furia for qualification, and then Twisted Minds can get the home buff in the lower semi.
See, but who do you think wins that upper against Furia and Vitality? Because I think Furia wins the rematch.
Okay,
I think they beat him again. Um,
but are we in agreement that that's going to happen in the upper?
I don't know. What do you think? What do you
I
think? We see
I
we see
think
Furia. I think if Furia has the Jorby buff, they're just not losing.
the caster makes all the difference. They can't hear him, but I think it's Furia Vitality in the upper.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Fury, I can't see them losing to the Ballers. Hate to say it, but it's their first, it's all their first LAN experience. I mean, these guys have never been on a big stage before. It's great that they get the opportunity to go. It's hard to pick them against a team like Furia.
Yeah. And then who goes home? The first team out of Group C. I think we're both in agreement.
Same page. Twisted Minds moving on.
Yep.
Waller's going home.
And then I would love to see Furia qualify in 2 games, in 2 matches. Just bang bang,
Me as well.
beat Vitality. I think they can do it. And then I think Vitality drops down, and we get a rematch of round 1. Vitality has shown they're not great in rematches, but
Yep.
I also
Yep.
think
This
that
is where I'd like to see the upset. Like you said, Vitality is not great in rematches. And maybe they're just a little too focused on Worlds and they lose sight of the prize here.
I yeah, give me if both. I think if both MENA teams qualify, it's going to be insane just because of where the event's being held. And just think it'd be a fun storyline. Also, Vitality not making it would just be insane.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
I'm good. I'm
Well,
good with the Twisted Minds pick also to
let's
qualify.
go. I just, it's a good team like SMW, Mawson, and Naopo. I think Naopo could really fit into that rotation. It's a little interesting. Naopo and Mawson both coming from Rule 1 at different times. They never got to play together, but they were both under the org. Rest in peace. And I think they could do pretty well together.
Oxygen following in the footsteps.
Yep, unfortunately.
So
But
group
Cloud9's back.
That's true. Cloud9's back, so all is right with the world.
That's right.
I think we got this one pretty locked up. I want to say Group B, pretty easy. Falcons beat EXO. I've got
Yep.
Gen G beating Secret there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Secret will take that one.
I do
I really
think
like Brad and KV1 on that team a lot. And Mata's great too, but I just don't see it happening.
yeah. And then Team Secret, I got them putting EXO out of here.
Yeah.
Sending them home.
As
EXO,
much as you hate to see it, they just got signed with the org.
Yeah, EXO gets 5K for showing up. Thanks for being here. We'll see you later.
Yep. Have fun.
And then qualifying out of the top, out of the upper. To me, it's got to be the home team.
Gotta go with the home team.
Got to be the home team.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Especially after the last event. They went stupid.
Yeah, Falcons is due for a big win, honestly, for a whole event win, I think.
We thought a minor region team was finally going to beat one of the top teams and win it all, and we almost had it. But
yep.
I think Falcons beat Gen G here. Gen G will drop down, and then we get a rematch again.
Yep. Gen G Secret. And again with bringing up Shift Summer League, obviously it's not as taken seriously. A lot of the players talk about that. They don't look at it the same as RLCS, and that's totally valid. But Gen G definitely had their struggles.
Yeah.
I could see them getting upset. I don't think they will. I think they'll beat Secret. But we'll see a game 5, I think.
Okay.
I think that'll be close. I think they've got the experience. They're a good LAN team, they consistently make top 8 at LAN. So I'm not going to pull against them. But yeah. They could have a shaky event for sure. They have not looked incredible. First Killer has had a really good summer. Appjack unfortunately has not looked as consistent as he did in the past, and maybe that's just because he doesn't care. I don't really know, but that's just what I've seen.
So you're rolling with Secret as much?
No, I think Gen G will probably win. I think they'll stay. I don't think it's smart to bet against them, but I think Secret could pull the upset for sure.
Okay, so we just got an upset alert. I also think Gen G just handle business again, move on, and then that's Group B. Group A, I think the first round goes without saying. G2 over Limitless. BDS over Power.
BDS over Power. Yeah, I'm interested to see who Power's coach is right now. I'm not sure if they stayed with the same coach, but I know at the end of Major 2, him and Banana Head had a lot of disagreements. And it looked like one of them was going to be leaving for sure.
Hmm.
So I'm interested to see what that Power Squad looks like. I really don't know if he's left or not, or if they've reconciled.
I
But
say Gemma is still the coach on.
on Liquipedia,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. But um, he had some angry tweets and some angry interviews post loss. So
That happens.
yeah,
Tensions are high, and which at the same time with Banana Head, he's been around. He's been around for a while, but
he is just a very solo mentality. I can understand how as a coach it might be frustrating.
it says his first year he started playing in 2017, and then like didn't play for 18, 19, came back in 20, and has been around ever since. Got to keep in mind he's also only 18. Not to say that the age is an excuse, but he's still a young guy.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
he may have some learning to do. There's definitely a coaching opportunity there, but I think that's a coaching opportunity where him and his coach can get on the same page and actually understand one another and come to an agreement. So for me,
Yeah, I hope to see it. I mean, I love both guys. I hope to see them do well. But anyway, sorry.
no, you're good. And then I think Africa goes out completely day one. I think Power beat Limitless.
Yep.
Power bounces back the next day. They go get some sleep. They come in, take care of business with Limitless, and then G2 versus BDS. I think like if there's a toss up, it's gonna be this game.
Yeah.
Which version of Monkey Moon do we get?
Yeah. Which version of Drawley do we get on LAN?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, online Drawley has just looked incredible, but on LAN it's been a little bit of a different story this year. And yeah, I mean, if they play to their peaks, BDS definitely could win it all. I mean, they play at their ceiling. They are an incredible team. Drawley is really, really impressive. And this is his rookie season, right? I believe.
For Drawley,
Yeah.
he's been around since 2020.
On pro teams, he has. Well,
Well, he's been active since 2020. I think
okay.
he's been with BDS since 2013 or 2013 since
He
November.
started with Flip and Spin when Rise left.
So
Rise and Seiko left.
he's been with BDS since November of last year. So he's been around for almost a year in like the professional capacity.
Yeah. Yeah. So this 2024 season was his rookie RLCS season though.
Yeah.
But I mean online, like I said, online he's looked great. And there were a lot of 1v1 showdowns this summer, and I think Drawley won. Like Fear hosted a tournament just last week or 2 weeks ago, and I think Drawley won the EU side of it, and he beat I think he might have beaten, I'd have to go look. I don't want to say anything wrong. He might have beaten, I know he beat Moxie. I'm not sure if Rawas played in it, but
he played Nos and won it.
played Nos and won it in the finals. Yeah, and I mean, Nos was the Salt Mine 3 champ, so we know what he's capable of in the 1v1 scene. So Drawley being able to come out and win that might be a pretty big confidence boost for him.
Yeah, it's just you said that if BDS is playing at their peak, if they're coming out on firing on all cylinders, they could win the event. But do you think their peak is higher than G2's right now?
The thing about it is with G2, it's not Daniel and Beast mode.
That's true.
We've got Nas in that spot instead of Beast Mode,
Who Drawley beat?
who Drolly just beat. So honestly, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. The Nas pickup on G2 was so random to me. I did not expect him to be the guy to replace Beast Mode at all. Not that I'm upset with it by any means, but we haven't seen him on LAN. Um, so I don't know. I think honestly, I want to call for BDS in the upper, but then Nas is gonna peak and just
Nas, you got to remember, he's coming for revenge right now.
yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
this is
He
not going to
wants to
be
beat Drawley. That's fair.
this is not going to be just a random matchup. He is coming out. He's coming back for blood,
True.
and
Who do you
I,
think? How do you think he does? How do you think he does with the boys?
how Nos will do.
Yeah,
Now, I mean, on Twitter, Beast Mode, after the announcement came out that Beast Mode would not be able to make the appearance because of family issues, Beast Mode did let out a tweet saying, big shoes to fill, or G2 said it, big shoes to fill, but we got the right man for the job. Like, I think, one, as an org, if you're G2, you got to say that.
right.
You've got to show confidence in the guy coming in to replace your player.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I just hope that they brought the right guy in, and out of all the talent sitting in NA, I don't know. Which you also, I don't expect G2 to poach a player off another RLCS team in the lead up to
Right.
Worlds. So I mean, it makes sense that they would go outside of the region and then pick up a talent like Nos, and so I think we'll see. If I had to take a guess, the fact that they've had, I mean, July 31st is when it looks like the announcement came out. So they'll have just under a month to prepare for this, which is plenty of time to build that chemistry and everything. But if you've got a roster like BDS does, I think it is going to be a little hard to show up and crack that with a new guy who's been on the team for less than a month. But again, they're all professionals. They're all extremely high level players. Do I think it's possible? Yes, but I'll probably give the edge here to BDS and have them going through in uppers.
I think I would agree with that. I think my gut tells me BDS going through uppers. I mean, they could be incredible, and Daniel and Atomic winning that major too. I mean, they've got to be feeling pretty confident, but I would also assume maybe they're not as worried about the EWC. I don't know. I'm
I don't know.
excited to see.
Like we said, 200 bones is a lot of bones.
It's a lot of bones.
That's a lot of beans in the pocket.
Yeah, and it's a big jump from first to first place. You're getting a lot more money than everybody else that's coming.
120K jump between second and first, like that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to matter. I think the players are going to show up. They're going to want to. Obviously, nobody wants to show up and lose. That's not. Hopefully,
Right.
that's nobody's mentality going into it. But one thing, when you look at one thing I am like a little confused by is I've heard that prize pools for other games, again, bringing up Call of Duty, I heard that there was a rumor that the prize pool for that was supposed to be like 4 million. It ended up at 1.8.
Unbelievable.
Because from what I heard, they didn't want the EWC to overshadow champs. They didn't want EWC to overshadow COD's biggest event of the year, and for EWC to cap it at 500K when they had a lot of room to work with. The prize pool for Worlds is almost 1.2.
Yeah.
So I think they had more room, but I'm also not in charge of this event. So
yeah.
And when again, EWC had some games in there that
I think
have a much wider appeal. Like they had CS, they had League, Fortnite. There were a lot of games that kind of overshadow Rocket League at the competitive level. So I get it, but it also just makes me sad. I'm just glad they're here, to be honest.
Agreed. I'm glad Rocket League is in it. I think when the announcement first came out, it was going to be smaller than 500,000. I think it was originally the same as what we see in majors. I think it was a 200 or just under, because majors it's 255,000, and I think at first it was only 250.
Okay.
And then it got bumped up after a few weeks. I don't remember. I don't remember how long the timeline was, but yeah, it was originally a smaller prize pool.
Okay, so
Than the
we stole some of COD's money. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
We love to see it.
I will say one thing that surprised me, the number of professional Call of Duty players that love Rocket League is
Oh, it's incredible.
yeah, I actually didn't realize how much of the COD pros love Rocket League.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah,
watching
but it is such an exciting esport.
yeah, it's one of those games that you you can turn it on and everybody immediately knows what's happening. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows orange team score on the blue goal, blue team score on the orange goal. Like it's super simple. There's nothing to learn about it. It's soccer. But so I think that's one reason for its appeal in my opinion is it's just so easy to understand. Like I remember it was years ago. League of Legends, I think the LCS was on ESPN, and I tried explaining that to my dad while it was happening. My dad saw a video game on ESPN and was like, "Bailey, do you know what that is?" And
That's incredible.
I was like, "Yeah, I've played it before." And he was like, "Well, teach me." And I was like, "All right, well, here we go. I'll try my best." I don't even know that much about it, but he was like, "Well, you'll teach me." And so I tried teaching him, but there's just so much that goes into it. I tried explaining different aspects of the game. And he was like, "Okay, but so does that give you an advantage, or how does this work?" And I'm just like, I can't go into detail. I don't know too much about it.
I and I mean Rocket League did just get more exposure. I've been seeing a lot the Sports Center posts after the Olympics because of the pommel horse.
Yep.
The other Steven, always another Steven doing bigger and better things. That's fine. He he also being higher ranked than me in Rocket League is incredible. Him being grand champ, getting posted about all over Sports Center pages on Twitter and Instagram. That was pretty cool. That brought some exposure. I had a lot of people texting me like, "Yo, did you see this guy also plays Rocket League?" I was like, "Yeah, love to see it."
Other Steven, higher rank, gold medal, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. All right,
bronze medal, buddy.
Let's finish this up.
All right.
Power versus G2. I would love to have because right now, who do we have represented? We've got NA, EU, Mina, Sam.
Mina, Sam.
And so OCE's not in there. Having an OCE team in the mix would be a lot of fun, but not if it means America's best chance goes out.
Yep.
So I think G2 can take care of that also.
Yep. Yeah, I think G2 will win that. I mean, the fit with NAS could just go terribly.
That's true.
Power
They could bomb
them.
out.
Yep. It's definitely possible, and I mean, we saw Power beat even Oxygen in a best of 5. So you never know in a best of 5 series. Power definitely could do it, but I think I'm gonna pull for G2 here. I'd
Okay.
like to see Nas do well. I'd like to see him make it far in the playoffs even afterwards. Be good to see.
Now we would take these 8 teams, put them into the playoff. All these series right here are best of 5s, and we would put them into the playoff bracket, but we don't know how seeding for that is going to work. So, not even going to try. But this is where we're at. This is how we think group play will go. Everybody we have making it out. And I think we may try to have after group play starts, after the event starts on Thursday, we'll check our predictions first to see how our first round matchups went. And then from there we'll try to guess. Hopefully the seeding for the playoff will also be out, and we'll be able to go from there and finish the event out.
Flips.
So, but that's not going to happen because we have a perfect bracket right here. This is how it's going to be. If you disagree, that's too bad. You're wrong.
That's right.
I disagree.
Okay, get out of here.
All right, Pooks.
But so I think that's what we got so far for the EWC. Again, this tournament starts Thursday, Thursday, August 22nd, and games will start bright and early. I know for COD they were starting at 8 a.m. So
Yeah, it'll be 8 a.m. Eastern. 8 a.m. Eastern is the start time. G2 and Limitless.
G2 kicks us off. Do they go straight through?
Yep, and then so Power BDS after them, and then it should just follow suit. Then
Yep.
Group B,
and then
Group C,
Falcons
then
and
Group D.
yep. All right. Well, that's what we got for the EWC. Those are our early predictions. Last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little buy and sell. If going into this event, what would we, if we were stock investors, what are we gonna buy stock in, or who specifically would we buy stock in, and then who would we sell if we had to sell stock? Who would we sell it on? And I think for me, if I'm selling stock, I'm selling, sadly, it's going to be Africa and APAC as regions.
Yeah,
I'm selling both
I don't
of those
think I
as a
bought
whole.
any stock into them to begin with. I think I mean our picks show that Vitality is a team we want to sell our stocks in. You know,
Mhm.
buy some of that Twisted Minds, sell the Vitality, and then maybe you might want to sell your G2 stock. You might want to buy into Power. Though that's
What
another game that we were looking out for, you know.
what an upset that would be, though.
It would for sure. I think any I if we go by groups, I think Vitality and Twisted Minds are going to be the sell and buy in Group C. Group A, we're looking at G2 Power, sell G2, buy Power. Group B, I think the closest is Gen G, Team Secret. If you're going to sell Gen G, buy Team Secret. And D, if it's anything, unfortunately, we're selling Space Station, which I'll never do, and we are buying Chiefs. But I'm holding. I got diamond hands on the Space Station stock. We're going all the way there.
I think if I'm buying stock in a team specifically for the tournament, I think if there, I mean, just a storyline. If there were a team to buy stock in, it's got to be Falcons. If you're looking
Yeah.
for a team to win this event, they were so close in the last major. Now they're at home. They're in Saudi Arabia, and they'll have a home crowd. And also, Team Falcons as an org has already won the Esports World Cup. As an org, they've already clinched it, and
I mean, they're just doing incredible. Yeah, I would agree. If we're gonna buy stocks in anything, any one team to pick for the whole event, Falcons. Falcons is my favorite.
so buy Falcons. Sadly, you might need to sell some G2, but hopefully not. Hopefully, I'm wrong in that. But I think that wraps up our Esports World Cup introduction.
I think so. I'm excited to see him start on Thursday. Hopefully, we get that. We get the playoff seating so we can do the rest of those predictions. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun event.
Thursday at 8 a.m. Work will not be getting done.
Nope.
But that's
We'll
okay.
be watching car soccer.
Yep. And then yeah, we'll talk about some more on Thursday. And between now and then, I mean, Steven, do you have anything else? Close out? If not.
No.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Excited to see Veracity again. I
Okay.
guess. If I got to
Alright.
close out on anything,
Alright.
I'm closing out on that one.
All right. Well, until then, until Thursday, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you in Thursday. We'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, on Thursday.
Goodbye. All right.